All right. Hi, you guys. How are you? It is May 20th, and I'm here with my friend Billie Heggie. We're super excited to talk to you about Partner Co. So I'm gonna share just a little bit about my story. And then Billie's gonna share a little bit about her story. We're gonna talk about the business. I live in the United States of America. Billie lives in Canada. We have been friends since 2009, so we love talking to each other. So you are in for a treat because we're going to talk about Partner Co. and what we love here. And we haven't done a Zoom together, Billie, since we went to Hawaii. So I think we should share a little bit about that as well. So I have been in this industry for over 23 years. Billie, you've been in for over 20.
21 this year.
21 years. 21
Yep.
years. Okay, so we were with one company for a really long time. And then we felt like we were supposed 3 years ago, I resigned from that company. And 2 years ago, I saw a post and they were about these drops. And I had no idea that there was actually I didn't know I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything. But what I did know is I had every single one of these symptoms, with the exception of adult acne. I have had that in my adult life. I did not have it 2 years ago. I'm going to be 55 in just a month. I have 5 kids. I was at one of my oldest graduation from college, and I felt miserable within my skin, within my body. I was doing everything, everything that my functional med doctor told me to do. I was doing. I was eating clean. I was moving my body. I was trying to sleep. I was doing bioidentical HRTs. I was doing everything. I've been diagnosed with several different health conditions. And so that's a challenge, right? And then I was menopausal, but I thought to myself, my mom's exactly 30 years older than me, and I thought to myself, I'm 53. I'm not 83. Like, this should not be so hard, because I felt so much older than I actually was. So I started using the drops. I felt a shift right away, and I was like, there's something to this. In the United States, it's a homeopathic drop. In Canada and the rest of our 50 markets around the world, it's an herbal drop. And what it does is it helps address the foundational hormones of the body. What are those? That's going to be your thyroid, ghrelin, leptin, cortisol, and insulin. Within just a few months, I get my labs done every few months because of all the different things that I'm dealing with my body. And my functional med doctor likes to see my labs every few months. I was pre-diabetic when I started on the drops. Within just a few months, I was no longer pre-diabetic, and my insulin was down in the normal range. The other thing that happened, and I love to share this because this is really, it's just a testimony of how this product compounds over time. So a lot of times people are like, oh, it's not working for me. I want X and Y, Z result, and it's not working for me. Well, I could have said that. I needed to release 50 pounds. I had a slew of challenges, but I said to myself, this is a homeopathic product, and I'm going to give myself time to let it work itself out. And I'm so glad I did, because my A1C and my insulin came down into the normal range. It's continued to drop over the last 2 years. The other thing that happened that I had tested at the end of 2024, so a year and a half ago, I had my leptin tested, and that was at a 50. That's actually kind of high. And then we tested it again at the end of last year, so the end of 2025, and it was at a 19. We tested it again in March, and it was at a 17. So why is that important? If your leptin is too high, really if it's over 20, you can't lose weight. So thankfully, mine's coming down. So what my doctor said to me, and it's also an inflammation marker, and we're not going to, again, Billie and I are just going to share our stories. We're not making any medical claims, any product claims, any financial claims or anything like that. but I'm sharing with you what happened with me. And it's shown up on my labs, and all the only shift I have made is I started using the drops and some of our other incredible products. And so that's what I get so excited about, because I actually have better mobility. I have more energy. I have a better love life than I did a few years ago. I have more restful sleep. I have a healthier metabolism. My skin looks better. You guys, I have not done any like work to my skin or my body or anything. Everything is like, just, I use good products. I haven't had any type of anything. And I think I don't, whatever anyone wants to do, I don't really care, but that's what, for me, I know that that's what, how I want to age, because I'm aging. It's part of life is part of aging, right? But I want to do it as holistically as possible, but I also want to look great and feel great. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit about Partner Co. Our company, it's 3 years old, just celebrated 3 years. And we are in over 50 markets around the world, which is absolutely incredible. We have a solid infrastructure. We are truly led by the best of the best, and we're going to share more about our owners in just a second. And we have a Bill of Rights. I'm going to let Billie touch on that. And I've been blown away by this company, because I've never seen leadership like this and ownership like this. And it really does start with these two men right here. Darren Zobrist is on the left. He's our CEO. John Wadsworth is on the right. So John has been in this industry for 30 years. Both of these guys, I found out that they're both my age. Darren went to Wharton Business School, and then he was a Goldman Sachs investor. He started a company to help impoverished fishermen around the world, grew it to like almost $1 billion company, sold it to Bumblebee Tuna, was semi-retired, and then his friend John tells him, oh my gosh, my company is gonna go under because of poor leadership, poor management, things like that. The products were great, but just things weren't, in result of COVID, not being able to recover. These guys came together, purchased the company, rebranded, brought some legacy brands together, legacy products. The drops are one of them, together. And now, you guys, we are in massive momentum as a company. We were recognized for being #1 with global in global momentum from Business from Home. And Billie, I would love for you to share like what your takeaways were because you have met John and Darren before, but you got to see them again in Hawaii and when we went to Maui on our incentive trip, and just what your takeaways are, and I'll share what my takeaways are, because I've never seen people work this hard like these two gentlemen. But I'm going to I want you to share what your takeaways are.
Sure. So for me, when I think about these two, I think about the fact that they are not untouchable to the people who they're working for. The company where we were both for a very long time, owners would come into a conference once a year. They would be escorted around by security guards. They were just untouchables, right? Like that's the only way I can think of to describe it. And the thing I like about John and Darren is how they really don't feel they are better than any one of us. And it really is a partnership. So we're called Partner Co. And we refer to what we do as partnership marketing, because they really feel that and they embody that. Like, for example, when we were in Maui, they took us all out on this excursion one day. We had a spa boat and a fun boat with like games and whatnot. And then there was a snorkeling boat. And so I ended up on a boat, or catamaran, I should say, with John. And actually, I think Darren, no, I don't think Darren was on that one. I ended up on there with John, though. John and his family, and Katie Holt Larson, who's our chief impact officer. And, I got chatting with Katie, and she's like, hang on. I just got to go down here. I got to get John. So she goes and gets John. Well, anyways, we end up sitting down on this catamaran. He sits right down on the net, right below me. And there was a group of us sat around, and for like 2 hours, we sat and we talked business. And Katie joked. She's like, here we are on a holiday. She's like, I can turn anything into a meeting, but we really want to hear from you. Like, we want to hear from you guys. Like, what's working, what's going well. And
Mhm.
I can tell you, in all my years of building in this industry, no one has ever done that. And just really truly feeling like they are listening. So, I mean, I could go on and on, but I just love that they've got there. They're, right here at they've been successful. They've got accolades of all kinds in their careers, but they remember where they came from.
Right.
and and they remember that where they were once the people, like us, with people with big dreams to be financially free, financially solid, healthy, all of the things, and raise really good families. They're both really incredible family men, and how they are raising their children and the values that they live by is something that all of us should aspire to be like. So I could go on, but I won't.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, I ditto everything you just said, but the other thing as that I what I love is I love that one of the things that really resonates with me is that here they are, they're my age. Oh, I do have friends who have had success, maybe not to the level that they both have, but they are like retiring early. My friends are, and going and living their life. And these guys are like, but we want other people to have what we have. And they're committed to working, honestly, tirelessly, traveling all over the world. Sometimes their families come with them, sometimes they don't. They want so much for me and Billie and Charmin and everyone who's on this call to have the opportunities that they have been given and that they've worked hard to have. And they're so committed and then they're attracting the best of the best in the industry, right? So we have these great legacy products like the Drops and the Tahitian Noni, which is the brand that John Wadsworth was with for over 25 years. And then we have new products. We have a core cleanse that just came out when we were in Maui. We have a new product that's launching in like 5 weeks in Nashville called Moringa. Well, I don't know what the name of it's going to be, but the main ingredient is Moringa, and it's going to be the premium Moringa product on the market. We have more products that are coming out later this year. It's very exciting. And what we love is that I feel like, oh my gosh, I have an opportunity here to help other people. And these two gentlemen are giving me an opportunity to soar like they have. And it's very unique. It's very unique. And I believe it's what sets Partner Co. apart are these two gentlemen who are not untouchable, and they, like what Billie said, they want us to have what they have, and it's extraordinary. So again, Billie and I could go on and on, but what I want you to know is that this is really cool. I'm going to share this with you because these are some stats that I get a pen out or put it in your phone. This market that we have, so all of our products fall in the wellness market, the wellness products market, okay? So that market is $6.7 trillion right now. And by 2030, it will be a $10 trillion business industry. So protein, health and wellness, detox, energy, weight management, building up your immune system, hormone support, healthy aging, like I talked about earlier, will be a $10 trillion industry. We are a $400 million company right now in 50 markets around the world. And it's only, so what that means is that we only are going to continue to have more opportunity to grow and to get a piece of that market. So that's really important to understand. We will be a multi-billion-dollar brand. Darren Zobrist knows how to build a business that big. So does Katie Holt Larson, our Chief Impact Officer, and so does John Wadsworth. So we are in the right hands with the right leadership to take this company to a multi-billion-dollar legacy brand. And what I love is all of our products are farm to pharmaceutical. I love it. Like, I mean, it's incredible, you know, sourced from nature, scientifically tested, you guys proven ingredients and third party validated. That's really important. And I mean, if you know anything about wellness products, it's really, really important. This is why you don't purchase things from, you know, your drugstore down the street. Like, you want like, if you're going to spend money on supplementation, you want it to come from the right sources with the right testing and the right ingredients, because otherwise, a lot of times it's not efficacious. So I am going to let Billie talk about the drops.
Okay. So thank you, Anne. So here's the thing. You might already know about the drops. And you're here because you want to learn how to get how to get a better deal, how to share them, how to and so everybody's at a different spot in their drop journey. But if you're here as a first timer and you are not sure what the drops are, they are incredible. They've got a bunch of different names all over North America and the world, but we love to call them our body balancing drops. And the reason why is they bring balance. It's like what Anne mentioned about her leptin levels in her body. And so really what they do though is we pair them with a program, an approved, we call it our approved food list. It's really just a whole foods, healthy eating diet that if, you know what, if the population followed a plan like that, a low glycemic, you know, I don't like to say diet because it's not a diet, but if the population were to follow that, they could lose weight. We would be in a lot better place metabolically than we are. But the problem is we're addicted to things like sugar, carbs, bread, sweets, all the things. And so what the drops are going to do is they're going to give you some liquid discipline while they're working their magic in your body. And so what I love about these is that they have pretty much helped me. They've helped me eliminate. I don't crave sugar. They've helped me. They're going to help you balance your blood sugar. Maybe if you want to click the slide for me, Anne.
Sure.
There's a
Yeah.
few more points on there of what they're going to do. And for me, I'll just share with you Cole's notes, how I found out about the drops. So I saw, can you go back one more?
Sorry.
There we go. That's okay. So when I found out about the drops, I was I matched up with a lot of those symptoms Anne first talked about. I was sleeping terrible, night sweats, like to the point where, you know, when you wake up in the night and you've sweat so much, you're like, my hair's wet, my shirt's wet, I need to change my clothes wet. I was getting night sweats like that. I've got a thyroid issue. And I just was like burnt out, tired, and also like Anne felt like I was doing all the things, but still like treading, like just spinning my wheels. And so when I started using the drops, I noticed immediate energy. My focus, my mood was better. I didn't feel irritable like I did before. I felt like I didn't, all the food noise went away. So what do I mean by food noise? It's a term that really means all, you know, thinking about your next meal. When am I going to eat again? How's that good? Like, what's it going to look like? Am I going to have this, that, you know, you're not thinking about that. I don't worry about that. I don't think about that anymore. And my appetite. I don't sit down and overeat now like I feel like I used to. And so really it just creates that balance in your body. And my favorite way to describe them is they're like a fire extinguisher for your body, and they're going to go into your body and they're going to put out the biggest fires first. For Anne, that might have been her leptin levels, let's say. If for me, it might be my thyroid. For someone else, it might be their cortisol. But they're going to go into your body and they're going to put out the biggest flame first. And so my best advice is, if you're learning about these for the first time, or maybe you're 30 days in, you got to give them 90 to 120 days, even like 6 months, a year. You know what Anne said about her leptin, how it just continuously went down. It compounds. Your results are going to compound. And so the longer you let them do their thing, the more they're going to do their thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we have a homeopathic blend in the United States, and then in Canada and the rest of the world we have a herbal blend. And really, though, they're like a Mercedes and a Lamborghini. Well, are Mercedes and Lamborghinis equal? I don't know. Mercedes and a BMW. Let's use that comparison. They're both, really well engineered. They're going to go fast. They're going to do, be a beautiful thing to have parked in your garage. But they're going to get you to the place you want to be in the same fashion, just with different ingredients, different formulations. That's the best way that I can describe them. And so, so what happened for me was I started getting results. I lost like 6 pounds first couple weeks, but which wasn't a huge weight loss over the first 3 weeks or so, but it was the inflammation. And people saw that. And, people were like, what have you been doing? What have you been doing? Like, you look great. And anyway, I said to Anne, I was like, all right, people are asking me about, you guys, I was so stubborn. I didn't even want to buy, like, I was like, I'm only buying one box because she was like, well, you can get a 4-pack. I'm like, nope, I won't do that. I'll buy one. I'll see how I do with one. I was really stubborn. But people started asking me, and I'm not an idiot. I know how social marketing works. I know how affiliate marketing works. And this is really no different. It's an incredible business model where we share something that's working for us because our friends and family want to know. They ask us, right? And so it's like I was putting on a little makeup tonight and I thought, oh, I need a new makeup primer. And I was thinking about that. I was like, I need to find a new makeup primer, right? And so who am I going to ask? I'm going to ask around to my friends that got great makeup, right? That look great. And so that's what we do. And so I love the drops because they are viral. Then Partner Co is the only place you can get them. So I can't go over onto Amazon and find, I might be able to go find some knockoff that somebody's tried to knock off, but you're not going to get the same formulation. Our formulation is ours. It's unique to Partner Co, and it's the only place we can get them. So it's a real advantage for our brand partners because we don't white label our products. Okay. So we're not buying formulations from other companies, putting our label on the bottle and passing them off as our own. This is our formulation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I did. I started just sharing casually on my social media and friends and family, word of mouth, and just sharing how I was feeling. And I couldn't believe how I couldn't believe the response and how hungry so many people out there are for a product like this. I mean, I in 12 days, and I sold 30 boxes of drops when I started sharing, and I was very casually sharing. And so I couldn't believe it. And what I also couldn't believe was the extra money that put in my pocket because I was like, this is incredible. Right. And so you might be here tonight to earn how you can share a little and pay for your own or earn a lot. But that was for me, that was why I said to Anne, I was like, well, I'll learn how to share them and how to get them because I've got bills to pay, hockey fees to pay. It was summer. I want to go do fun summer things with the kids and not worry about that extra cash. So that's really why I started. But now I've had the opportunity to build a really incredible team. And I didn't expect that. But honestly, I'm just so grateful. And so really, there's a couple things you can do. You can grab a box retail from your brand partner. Maybe that's how you've purchased your drops so far, and grab a box from your brand partner, or you can get a discount. There's a couple ways to do that. So the first way is as a preferred customer. So that's where you subscribe. You're going to get a discount for if you flip the screen in, then we've got a visual. So you're going to subscribe and save. So what that's going to let you do is you're not going to have to worry about whether your brand partner like the other day, I sold 5 boxes in a day and I'm waiting on new ones. I need new ones to come in. So you're not going to be caught, with your drop bottles empty, waiting on your brand partner to have drops in stock when you subscribe yourself. You're always going to have your own shipment coming to your door. And you also don't have to go through the hassle of maybe hooking up with them to get your drops from them. And so I love this because it saves you 15%. You save on every order. There's no fee and it always arrives on time. I love that my orders, like I had an order shipped from the warehouse yesterday, and I'll probably have it by tomorrow or Friday morning. So the third way, which is as a brand partner, I'm going to pass it over to you, Anne, and you can share this with everybody.
Yeah.
And then what we'll do is we'll get into sharing the different countries' pricing and we'll go from there. So I'll pass
Yeah.
it back to you.
So we have with our third option is that you can become a brand partner. In the United States, it's $29.95, and in Canada, it's $37.95. What this does is this is going to unlock for you 30% off with our products. Some of the products we get an even deeper discount depending on what the bundle is that you're purchasing. It's a one-time fee and it's awesome. So you can do this and you can shop from all of our, we have over 50 products. You can shop from those products in with your account and get that discount, or you can do what Billie and I have done, and maybe the person who invited you on here, and you can start creating additional income. So I'm going to go through what we have available in the United States. So we're just talking about the drops tonight, because there are a lot of ways that you can get started, but we're just focusing on the drops. So if you are interested in some of the other products, I want to encourage you to get with the brand partner who asked you to get on here, and learn more, because there are so many more. But we're not going to go through all those tonight, just because for the sake of time. So in the United States, if you got started, if you were like, oh my gosh, I really want to do this, I'm going to commit, I'm going to do this for a minimum of 120 to 6 months, 120 days to 6 months, I'm going to encourage you to, like, this is our customer pack, the 4-pack. So it's like, maybe you split it with you and your sister, or you and your significant other, and it's going to be $371. In the event that you wanted to get started with this and you wanted to sell all 4 of those, your profit is going to be $297. In the United States, we sell them for $167. We have a 10-pack. That's what I started with 2 years ago, and we didn't have a 30-pack. So I started with a 10-pack because I knew I had at least 10 friends who were going to be interested in this. So I sold each one of them for $167, and my profit was $791. The 30-pack, I love the 30-pack. The profit, the reason why I love this, so I want you to look at this. With the 4-pack, it brings it back down to under $100 a box. With the 10-pack, it's $87 a box. With the 30-pack, it's $83 a box. The return on investment for the 30-pack when you sell each one of those at $167 is over $2,500. The thing that I want you to understand is I've never seen anything like this before, where you can purchase the viral product in bulk at a reduced amount and turn around and sell it and make such a significant profit. With the 4-pack, when you sell 3, you get yours for free. With the 10-pack, when you sell 6, the next 4 are profit. With the 30-pack, when you sell 15, the second 15 is all profit. You guys, that's really incredible. And so we're really passionate about teaching you how to sell these, because we want you to make that right now money in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You would talk about Canada?
Yeah, you guys, the same idea applies here. And so if you're in Canada, we sell them for, $200 each. And then the profit on, for example, on a 3-pack, like Anne mentioned, is $300. On a 10-pack. So this is what most people do. Lots of people will do a 10-pack. A lot of people do 30, because it's funny, when people they'll start sharing and doing our system of growth. And it's like, oh my gosh, that 10-pack I bought is gone. It's gone. I had somebody last week, she's new and she needed help placing an order. It was funny. And actually, I would love, if you are a brand partner and you're on this, I'd love to hear from you in the chat what you did, because and what you wished you did. Because I know for her, for example, we were just chatting. She was like, okay, because she needed to know how to place the order again. And she's like, okay, well, I'm going to go in here and get a 10-pack. I've got 9 of them sold. I'm like, okay, that's great. She messaged me the very next day. She goes, oh my gosh, I sold another 10 in the last, it hadn't even been a full day since I spoke to her. So she needed to order 20. And so you'll be very surprised. People are always like, really? And I'm like, yeah, who do you know that is fat, frumpy, and broke? like Risha Adair says, right? We all feel, I feel like especially this time of year, we all feel the extra puff, and so our friends are interested. We're looking to feel better and look better. And so the 10 pack you earn about an $810 profit, and on a 30 pack again, it's a $2,500 profit. And we teach people how to make that 30 pack income in your first month. That is our goal. Our goal is to teach you how to do that. So, and then if you decide you want to teach other people how to do that, we're going to teach you how to do that too. So, we love, love, love we love that. And we love how we can turn our social media into a profit using our system of growth. And now this was something that I didn't really understand the power of when I got started. And I really just casually shared about the products. But I am telling you, once I understood and I saw what was going on and how we could teach people who it doesn't matter if you have like zero experience on social media. If you're like, I have no friends actually online, like I got 50. You guys, that's 50 sets of eyeballs that you have to talk to. And we've also, we'll teach you how to grow your social media and whatnot. But I love that this is something. It doesn't matter. Tell me, I'm gonna ask you, I'm just curious. If you had to rate yourself, if you with your expertise in social media, and one is no expertise, think about one, put it in the chat. If you're like, I'm a one, Anne's probably over there, I'm gonna put a one, right? And so you guys, that's the beauty of this, is that I'm actually seeing some of the people commenting one who are people in this business, and they do just as good on their social media as I do. And I would rate myself a two. Like I'm no expert, but I'm also savvy-ish, I'd like to think. So it doesn't matter. We meet you where you're at, and we're going to teach you how to build, how to grow, and how to do it in a sustainable way. So it's really fun. We'll pass back to you, Anne.
It is. Oh my gosh. So I love this chart. And the reason I love it is that since I've been in the industry before, or for a long time, I was with a company. And when I joined that company, the company had been around for over 20 years. At that point, it was 23 years that the company had been around. And they were in momentum. Okay. Probably about to hit hyper growth, but they were in momentum. And then right after I started, they did hit hyper growth. Okay. I followed the system, which we do have a system here. We use social media. We also do, we talk to your neighbor, right? I mean, like, it's just, we teach you how to do this. I followed the system and I grew a really fantastic business. And I will tell you it was all great there, but the difference, like I talked about earlier, the difference was what the owners, the leadership, those things really matter. And when you have phenomenal leadership like John and Darren, so John and Darren, they know how to take us where we are today at 400 million. They know how to take us in through the hyper growth and how to be a multi-billion-dollar company. So does Katie Holt Larson. She's done it before. So because we have those people leading us, I'm very confident that we will be a multi-billion-dollar company. We're here right now. So what does that mean for me and you? What that means is that we have an opportunity. It's called first movers advantage. It means that when that people are going to know me as the drop girl. I'm the drop dealer. I'm the girl that they're going to come to. Billie's the girl in the Lethbridge area that people come to. That's who I am. I'm also the person that I can help them reclaim their wellness because I've done it myself, right? So when you are making it known that you're doing this, then you are able to, and you're intentional to grow your business by just talking to people, sharing with them about the products, about the business, about all that we're opening in India in fourth quarter this year. You guys, that's a huge market. just chatting with people about the opportunity. What I want you to know is you never know who's listening, you never know who's interested, you never know if it's a Darren Zobrist who he himself is somewhat retired but might be interested in creating an additional income stream. Why? Because this opportunity anyone can do. It doesn't matter what your background is, it doesn't matter what your education is. Every person who's here right now with us today and has an ID number and follows the system and is coachable, and everyone has an opportunity in this opportunity gap. As we get into growth mode, momentum, hyper growth, everyone who's here right now and joins us on this curve or this growth chart, they all have an opportunity. But I'm going to tell you, the friends of mine, when I joined at that 23-year mark, I had friends who joined at like the 25-year mark, 27-year mark with the company. They didn't have even as much as I had. I have friends who they were with that company at the very beginning. So what I'm going to tell you is that those are the people who had the greatest opportunity, right? Because they had more people in their pipeline attached to them, sharing the product, sharing the business. So we will be a multi-billion-dollar company in over 50 markets around the world. We will be a legacy brand. Darren has a 50-year plan in place for the company. He's working on a 100-year plan in place. You guys, this is phenomenal. And so I get so excited about this because I know it's possible. I know it's happening. And we're looking for people who want to build this with us, lock arms with us. So we're really passionate. We want you to get in where you fit in. Is it the products? Are you attracted to the income? Is it both things? It can be both. But we want you to dream big, act now, and to get with the person who invited you on here, because really this is just the beginning and we are having so much fun, and it really does get better every single day with this company. I can confidently say that. Is there anything else you want to add, Billie?
No, I just would say like we're going to be here in a year from now, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, for life. We're not going anywhere, and people are going to hear about it, about this part, about Partner Co, whether they hear about it from you or your neighbor or your friend in the UK. We not only are building our businesses right here in our own backyard, we have the opportunity to build globally. Like you said, we're launching into new countries, and we're already in 58 markets total. So I just want to encourage you to, like the slide says, dream big and act now. And if you love the drops, if they're good enough for you, why not share them with your friends and family and people who could make a difference for them? Because nothing feels better than, my friend Stacy, like when the one I was telling you about, ordering the 20 boxes. She texted me, and she rides. She's a cowgirl, and she was like, "Thank you so much for sharing these with me. I've never felt so confident in the that confident in the saddle for years as I am now."
Wow.
She's lost 20 pounds, and so those are the things that make everything worthwhile. Those types of messages when you had a part in that, because you didn't keep this to yourself. So I
Yeah.
could go on about those types of messages, but just know that you have a real opportunity to make a difference for somebody positively, whether it's their health or their wealth or both. So,
Yes. Oh my gosh,
yeah,
Billie. Thank you so much for sharing tonight. You guys, I'm going to stop the recording, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Thanks so much, Billie. I appreciate your time.
you
You're the
betcha. I'll
best.
stop the recording for you.